Rotella on behalf of Mr. Thomas Styron, who's to my right.
Sergeant Howe.
Sir, if you please come forward and be sworn.
Take a seat, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give and be the truth and the whole truth and nothing? Yes, sir. Take a first and last name.
All right, you may inquire.
Thank you. And preliminarily, Your Honor, for the record, at the first preliminary exam, the prosecutor at the time put on the record that the people intend to amend the complaint and information to add an added count 4 of felonious assault with the victim being Sergeant Houck, an added count 5 of felony firearm, and an added count 6 of felony firearm. And
So 2 counts of felony firearm.
Yes,
right.
And count 4 of assault with a dangerous weapon with the victim being Sergeant Houck.
You said count 4?
Yeah.
You meant the 4th added? Or
Sorry. So we have 3 on the complaint, an added count 4 of felonious assault, count 5 felony firearm, count 6 felony firearm.
Okay.
Thank you. And then the basis would be count 5 felony firearm would attach to the count 4 felonious assault. Count 6 felony firearm will attach to both count 2 and count 1, the RNO and the fleeing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Sergeant, where are you currently employed?
Sure.
For how long have you been employed as such? Were you working in your capacity as a sergeant with the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office on January 31st, 2024?
Yes.
Were you working at approximately 12:06 a.m.?
Yes.
Is that your standard shift that you work is midnights?
6 p.
Thank you. PM, not AM, PM. Correct? So we're talking in the middle of the day. Thank you. My apologies. How did you come to be involved in this investigation?
Came in dispatch, rapid SOS, which is a geolocation for an hang up call, and it was pinging in a location, so I went to check that space first.
Did you have the opportunity to go to the area where the 911 call was pinging from?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you are being dispatched to something called a geolocation or a 911 call pinging to an area, does that tell you something about the type of area that you're looking for?
It generally gives you intersections where it's closest to.
Specifically in this case, the intersections you were looking for, and let me ask this question a different way. What's the difference between, what is a rolling domestic?
They're in a vehicle. They're moving in a vehicle, and there's a domestic assault taking place while they're in a car, while it's in motion.
Thank you. In this particular case, when you were dispatched to this area, were you looking for a rolling domestic?
Yes.
Why?
That was done with the call units.
Did you have the opportunity to make it all the way to the area that you were being dispatched to?
I did. I checked that area and I couldn't find anybody.
What did you do after you did not find anybody at that location?
On the dispatch screen, there was a name that I recognized from previous domestics. The female was involved as a victim.
That's the name you were familiar with.
Yeah.
When you are in this moment back in January 2024 and you are familiar with this particular victim, do you have a suspect in mind?
I had, after some research, I did a particular person that I know. This is specific about him from his car cat.
Do you know the race of the person that you had in mind as the suspect?
Yeah.
And what was that race? White male. While you are looking around for somebody related to this rolling domestic, do you come across somebody otherwise?
I did, yes.
This other person that you come across, where are they?
So I did some research on the other corner of Tyler and called them. So I went to that location first and checked that. On the station there, I was doing some other research on the vehicles that were in the part of the address, and I was asking for all the vehicles that were registered to the particular female victim that I was looking for. So I could go look for those cars if they were out and about. And one of the cars was a Buick with license plate on it. I passed my driver's side door with no license plate.
What did you do when you saw that?
I asked dispatch, the person I was speaking to on the lead channel, whether or not they could tell if the lien return for the vehicle plate was a sedan or a van. And I did not get a return from them. I didn't get a response from them, so I actually got stopped.
When you attempted to effectuate a traffic stop, what area were you located in?
I was on Calder. I was facing north.
Were you in the area of Calder and Seneca in Ypsilanti Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan? What is the speed? You were on Calder?
Yes, I'm Calder.
What is the speed limit in that location?
25 miles neighborhood.
When you say that you attempted to effectuate a traffic stop, what did you do to attempt to effectuate a traffic stop?
Red lights initially. I was working to effect a traffic stop.
Fair to say that there was a traffic violation occurring of not having a plate on the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And then in addition to that, you were looking for a suspect regarding this domestic violence situation.
Yes. Fast script of current boyfriend.
When you say the person in the vehicle, you're referring to the driver?
Yes.
Thank you. Once you your emergency lights, what occurred?
The vehicle did not stop.
What occurred? What did the vehicle do instead?
So I activated my siren.
Once you activated your siren, the vehicle kept going? Was there a point that the vehicle came to a stop?
It did turn into a driveway. Calder.
For how long did this pursuit continue before it turned into a driveway?
About 20 seconds or so. My license started activated.
Once the vehicle pulled into that driveway, what occurred?
Beautiful driveway. Brake lights came on the car. I could not see the driver's side of the vehicle at that time. The brake lights were on, which indicates to me that the driver was still seated in the car. And as I went to exit my car, the brake lights came off and the car shifted.
So fair to say, because now I'm understanding that you could not see the driver's side. So fair to say when the driver pulls into the driveway, he must be turning right into a driveway.
Yes, you are.
And you are behind his vehicle?
All to the side. I didn't get completely behind him.
When he pulls into the driveway, do you remain on the road or do you pull in the driveway behind him?
I'm still on the roadway.
And so in this angle, we kind of have an L shape of vehicles.
Yes.
Fair? And you don't have a visual of the driver's side of the vehicle. Thank you. And you've described what you've observed about the brake lights. And then I believe you said you saw the vehicle shifting.
Yes, you can see the vehicle shift.
And what did that tell you?
Indicated with my training experience that somebody was exiting the vehicle on that side of the car.
What did you do when you observed this? And coupled with the brake lights?
Yeah, coupled with that, not being able to see what they were doing, I pulled my fire out and kept it already.
Are you saying, are you exiting your vehicle while you do this?
Yes.
And are you saying anything?
Not until I see the person.
What do you say when you see the person?
Something to the effect that you put your hands in the car, put your hands in the car.
How are you uniformed during this time?
As I am here, stating in court, I've got one mark 360 degrees to share something.
When you tell the driver of the vehicle to put his hands on the car, where is your firearm?
Still at the low ready.
What does low ready mean? I apologize.
So it's not directly pointed at somebody, but it's lower. It's at the ready to be utilized if necessary.
Thank you.
Directly at them if I need to.
Am I understanding that both of your hands would have been on?
I know I could use it. I had at some points, yes, but sometimes no. I could use my hands to gesture.
I understand. Thank you. The person that got out of the vehicle from the driver's side, if you were to recognize them again, if you were to see them again, would you recognize them?
I would.
And is that person present in the courtroom today?
I would be assuming because he's wearing a mask. I can't.
I understand. Thank you. Your Honor, could you ask him is that appropriate?
He just did.
He has. Okay.
Yes, that would be Mr. Schneider.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Please let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
Without objection, record so reflect.
And so the defendant is the person that you are ordering to put his hands on the hood of the vehicle. When you are ordering him to put his hands on the driver's side of the van, have you walked around to the driver's side of the vehicle with him, or where are you?
I am coming around, so I was stuck on the blind side of the car, which means I couldn't see him. So as I'm coming around, the nose of my car, I'm able to finally have him come into view, and he is outside the vehicle. That time, at which time I ordered to put his hands on the side of his van.
And did he comply with that command? What did he do?
Came on.
Do you recall the things that he was saying to you?
Some of them,
Do you recall something along the lines of him being at his house?
yes.
This indication of essentially he's at his house, so you no longer have authority over him?
Something along that line. I remember that.
Did he comply with your verbal commands?
No,
Did you did you give him any additional verbal commands of what you wanted him to do?
yes, in addition to telling him when I stopped him.
Fair to say that one of the things that you're repeating to him is to put his hands on the vehicle.
Yes,
And even while you're repeating it, he's refusing.
that's correct.
While he is refusing to comply with your commands, do you do anything with your firearm?
Holstering it and just kind of walk up and make an arrest.
What was he under arrest for?
Shocking.
Are you able to make it all the way to him and effectuate an arrest?
No.
Why not?
As I was approaching, he said, "I'm armed." So I withdrew my firearm and pointed directly at him,
Why did you do that?
from my defense.
Once he indicated to you that he was armed, did you see a firearm prior to him being in your physical custody?
No.
Did he indicate to you where the firearm was?
He did.
How did he indicate to you where his firearm was?
He gestured with his hands.
What does a gesture mean? Is he pointing or something? And where was he pointing?
Towards like his midsection area. He was wearing like a sweatshirt.
Did you have the opportunity to observe his hooded sweatshirt at that time?
If I could see it,
You could see it. What does that mean?
I could see the sweatshirt.
Was there anything about his sweatshirt that appeared consistent to you with being in possession of a firearm?
You could see that there was weight in the pocket. I just couldn't identify whether it was a firearm.
So after he's identified to you that he has a firearm in his possession, does he threaten you?
Make a threat, yes.
How did he threaten you?
While just in the time frame of discussing whether or not he was armed with a firearm, he had indicated he was going to cook me.
So let's take that a step back. So what is the conversation that's going on about the firearm?
That he has it, he's armed with it.
What is his tone and demeanor while he's communicating with you?
He's argumentative. He's got a blade stance, which is a defensive or combative stance. It's not someone who is complying with my orders, illegal orders to go and be placed under arrest.
And while he's in this argumentative tone telling you about his firearm, he says to you, "I'm going to cook."
Twice.
He says it twice. How did that make you feel?
I thought he was going to shoot me.
What did you do while you were feeling that this armed person who was argumentative with you was going to attempt to shoot you? What did you physically do?
Well, I retreated a little bit. I put my vehicle engine lock between him and me. And then I started looking at the backdrop because I saw movement back there. Female and maybe some kids in the window or some moving in the window of the house. So I had to take into account all that stuff. Something like that's going to happen.
When you say that you're looking at the backdrop, is part of that for the event that a firearm is discharged?
Yes,
Either yours or his?
correct.
Is there a point that he is explaining to you that he intends to defend himself?
Yes,
Is there a point that he says to you, "Do you understand me?"
yes.
Fair. Oh, thank you, Your Honor. The question, "Do you understand me?" Did you understand that to be related to his statements about defending? While he is saying these things to you about defending himself and "Do you understand me?" is his argumentative tone continuing?
Yes, it is.
Is there a point that you were able to place him under arrest?
Yeah, back at the rock scene, we were able to get him to comply.
Backup arriving on scene, would that include other deputies?
Yes. Multiple times.
Is there a point that he's in handcuffs? After he is in handcuffs, is a search incident to arrest conducted?
It is.
Do you know if a firearm was recovered?
Yes, I'm going to cover the person.
Fair to say that this was I'm going to give this a try here, a handgun?
Yes.
It was a Taurus, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall whether the Taurus handgun was, whether it had any ammunition in it?
I believe I had a little magazine, but it was not around in the chaser.
Thank you. Now, some follow-up questions about what occurred after he was arrested. Did you transport him to the Washtenaw County Jail?
I did not.
Why not?
Well, I was on the way to Washtenaw County Jail. There was another incident that happened, and with me being a sergeant, I had responsibilities to attend to those situations and emergencies. And I can't take a prisoner to those emergencies. This emergency was a vehicle to a house while undercover units from another police agency were chasing it. And that drew our resources plus myself. So I had to release independent charges.
So you had initially intended on transporting him to the Washtenaw County Jail?
Yes,
There was a point that he was released from your vehicle,
yes, it was.
and that was not for lack of probable cause to arrest.
No.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I have one moment?
You may
Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, officer. Thank you for spending it with us. Officer, you had stated that you were on a different mission that day. Is that correct?
I guess I was on another call for service at the time that I came across Mr. Starr.
All right. And you were looking for a white male that day?
I was looking for a white female and a white male.
Okay. And what brought you into contact with Mr. Styron?
When I got back, the other vehicles that registered to the female had, one of them was a Buick. I couldn't discern whether that Buick was a sedan or a van, and it didn't have a plate attached to it in the lead return. So when that vehicle came by, I had to look at the driver. And he slowly made the turn, and when he went by me, he looked like he was alone in the car, but I couldn't be certain until I effectuated the traffic stop to do the investigation.
Okay. You didn't have a name for the other individual you were looking for?
There was a name. I just can't remember offhand. It was in the time system related to female.
Okay. Now, you stated that you approached, that you made a stop of Mr. Styron, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you stated when you made the stop, you initially flicked on your lights?
Yes, turn my lights on.
Okay. And then, do you know approximately how long those lights were turned on?
I had to review the videotape to be certain.
Okay. Now, when you make stops, do you first turn your lights on?
Yes, lights come on first.
Okay. And then is there a brief pause before the sirens go on?
Generally speaking, yes. Depending on what we're doing, yeah.
Okay. Now, so lights go on, then sirens go on after. Is that correct? Okay. Now, do you do this so that if someone doesn't stop with the lights, then the sirens go off?
It's done for that reason, but also it's, you have to have the sirens and lights activated for the flip moving. So if you just have your lights on, it's not the same as if you have your lights and sirens activated. You want to give the person ample opportunity to go over.
So I want to go back for a second. You said that you turn this, you said you turn the sirens on, excuse me, you turn the lights on, and then you said something about the sirens go on for the fleeing and eluding?
The sirens go on because you want the person to pull over. But if you just have your lights on and the person keeps driving, it doesn't meet all the thresholds that are fleeing and eluding. So you need to have the siren activated. All your emergency equipment has to be on.
So you're trying to meet the threshold for fleeing and eluding by turning on the sirens?
It's required.
Now, at this point, when we have Mr. Styron pulled over, okay, you state that you come out of the car and you have the pistol at the low and ready.
Yes.
Okay. Is that the first thing you do when you come out of the car? Do you have the pistol out right away?
In this particular instance, or are you referring to general?
In this particular instance.
In this particular instance, I did do the behavior of him, yes,
Okay. May I ask why that's the first thing we do?
because of his behavior.
Now, what was his behavior up to this point?
Failed to stop and then exited the car.
Now, is that the general policy?
It's not a general policy on that.
There's not a general policy on that.
That's police experience.
Okay, so is that your particular police experience in this? Okay, so what about Mr. Styron's behavior made it so that when you stopped him, you felt you had to pull the weapon out right away?
Because he continued to drive, and the sirens came on, and he continued to drive, and he pulled into a driveway. Then he exited the car after I exited my car.
Now, you stated that he continued to drive for about 20 seconds.
Yes.
And you felt that after he drove for 20 seconds and he exited the car, the first reaction should be to pull out your pistol.
Yes, I'm having it below ready to protect myself, 100%.
Okay. Now, during this whole incident, you wore a body cam, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did it capture a video of the incident?
Yes.
Okay. It was activated during the incident, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if technology will allow me, I'm going to show you a clip of that incident for authentication purposes. And we'll ask you what it is.
Is this body camera? You ready?
Yes.
I'll just,
Hold on.
is he ready? You don't.
Okay. You guys might have a stipulation, Your Honor, if that's okay. Thank you.
Defense Exhibit A.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying that. Okay. Let me show you the arm and jump out of my style. Required. My house. Don't put your hands on the car. For what? You're under arrest now. For what? You're under arrest now. Yes, bro. Tell me to put your hands on the car. Yes. Tell me to put your hands on the car. You just rolled down through here, which is the violation of the law, and you broke your heart down your traffic stop. Can't do that. You're not listening to me. So there'll be more people coming and you'll be going to handcuffs. You will. Huh? What was I doing that? What was I doing? This one? All I take. I would kick your ass, bro. Alright, you think so? Alright, well. I'm gonna take my firearm out. Let me know. I'm gonna go down now, go back to it. So we can go that route. I'll shoot you. You throw it back, you throw a pistol out, I'm gonna shoot you. You will not put that down. You will not put it down. You will not do that. You understand? You attack me. I will defend myself. If you don't stand, then you will contact me and you'll back. Somebody's trying to take my... You are under arrest at this point. You cannot leave. 67. He's a gas mask firearm. And there's out of his vehicle and feeling the back mask. Stop preaching. Stop going. Yeah, stop doing that something. If I was away, if I was down versus bit, I can stop you, I can talk to you. You violated the law. Yes, you will. You told me.
For the record, sorry to interrupt here. And I'm going by the time marker on the Axon body camera. Defense started playing at 12:05 and 18 seconds, and we're now stopped at 12:08 and 36 seconds.
Thank you.
So, Officer Hoke, you had stated that you came out in the low and ready, correct? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Yes.
Yes, I apologize. And Officer Hoke, you had stated that the pistol was not pointed at Mr. Styron before he informed you that he was armed. Is that correct?
Ready. It's in his direction, but I hadn't leveled it completely at him yet. You've seen that level at him when I brought it completely up. The little ready, it's resting right here. It's resting right here. So it's not directly pointed at him, but it is pointing in his direction. There's a difference between low ready and pointing it directly at him.
So, officer, do you believe that this was a de-escalation tactic?
This is me telling him exactly what he needs to do. So yes, this is the escalation tactic.
Officer, at any point, did Mr. Styron point a weapon at you?
No.
Okay. Officer, at any point, did you actually see a firearm on Mr. Styron?
No, sir.
Okay. Officer, when you were giving these commands to Mr. Styron, your pistol was out the entire time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. From the onset of the stop throughout the entire incident, your pistol was out, was it not?
I believe there was a market there where it was either holstered or was almost holstered. So I went to make contact with him before he was armed. I can't remember if one all the way to the holster or down my side, get ready to go into the holster before I make contact to make explosive arrest. When he said he was armed, I backed up and put one that yeah.
Officer, isn't it possible that your pistol being out could have impacted his ability to follow these commands?
No.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Yes.
You indicated in one of your answers something about lights being on, and you use a siren because you want to give somebody every opportunity to stop.
Yes, they needed to pull over.
Fair to say that that is what you did here. First, you attempted to use your lights. He didn't stop. Yes? And then you turned to your sirens as well to try to get him to stop.
Yes.
You didn't want to have a situation where he claimed he didn't see your lights.
Right.
Thank you. Pointing the gun at him. You're a sergeant, correct?
Yes.
Fair to say you have extensive training and experience on police officer safety.
Yes.
You are not required to wait until a defendant has you at gunpoint before you draw your weapon, correct?
That's correct.
And you are not required to wait until a defendant has fired at you, risking your life, until you point your gun at him, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Anything else?
Just one further, Your Honor. Regarding the cook you. Okay. Now, we hear Mr. Styron say, "I'm going to cook you," correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does Mr. Styron go on further to say what "I'm going to cook you" means?
Yes, it did.
What did he say?
When I asked him to clarify about the statement while we were having dialogue, and he said that he cooked me like exactly religiously, something to do with suing me. It was no problem suing me.
Thank you. No further questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Keep
Just to
going
be
back.
clear, we listened to the recording of that while we watched your body camera, right?
Yes.
To be fair, what he says is, "I'm going to cook your..."
Your weapon is pointed downward.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And there is a clear point on the video after he tells you or informs you that he's armed, that you then bring it basically to the ready.
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Anything else from either side?
Nothing for the people. Thank you.
Nothing further from defense. Thank you.
Sergeant, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, people have no additional witnesses.
Any witnesses for the defense?
No witnesses from defense. Thank you kindly, Your Honor.
Motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. This time the people would motion to bind over on an amended information that added count 4 felonious assault, added count 5 felony firearm, added count 6 felony firearm. Thank you.
Your Honor, defense would move to dismiss the felonious assault. There was no indication that a weapon was pointed at the officer at any time. There was no imminent threat of a weapon being pointed at the officer. Leave the requirements.
There was no imminent threat? Say that last part again.
There was no imminent threat of a weapon being pointed at the officer.
Okay, go ahead.
We would move that be dismissed, Your Honor, as to believe that with the weapon being, with the officer's pistol, with the officer's pistol being present from the beginning of the stop to the entire incident throughout, my client, Mr. Styron, wasn't able to function properly in obeying the lawful commands. He was placed in a state of fear.
So you're saying
the sergeant's command to put your hands on the vehicle, he couldn't follow because the officer's weapon was drawn? That almost seems counterintuitive to me.
Your Honor, the situation was escalated to a point that it didn't need to be at, Judge. It was an unreasonable use of force at that point.
Okay.
I'm going to vehemently disagree with you. And probably one of the reasons I'm not a police officer, because I don't know that I could have had the discipline that the sergeant did. But go ahead.
And with those two counts, Your Honor, the fleeing and the looting there was only 20 seconds of, let's see, at 23:50 in the video, the sirens go off. Excuse me, the lights turn on at 23:20, the sirens going off at 23:50. If he didn't see the lights for those 30 seconds, there's only 20 seconds of actual siren time. And I believe that is an adequate amount of time for someone to be pulling over, Judge. So if he stopped at that appropriate amount of time, 50 seconds total, Your Honor, would be a reasonable amount of time for someone to pull over. I don't believe there's enough to go on the fleeing and the looting. We would ask that that be dismissed. If those are dismissed, the felony firearms cannot follow. So for those reasons, we'd ask not to bind over. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. So this is a situation where people don't understand that when the police stop you and the police are effectuating an arrest, it's not a mutual argument. You don't get to fight with the police. You don't get to pull your gun out. You are under arrest, and this sergeant is in control. And when Mr. Styron refused to turn over control to the sergeant, he committed felonies. So first, to say that 50 seconds is a reasonable amount of time, I mean, to pull over a vehicle, it takes seconds to pull over a vehicle. We can all, and Your Honor could take certainly judicial notice of your experience as a driver as well, that you can immediately pull over your vehicle, and that is not what happened here. However, if Mr. Styron had
What do you mean, that I've been pulled over?
No, just that
No,
you
go
pulled
ahead.
genuinely, yeah, you probably pulled a vehicle over at some point somewhere, unrelated to the police. But Mr. Styron doesn't get out of his vehicle and say, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I didn't see your lights." He proceeds to argue with the police officer as if he has any leverage in this equal argument, which it's not. It's an arrest. The officer caused fear in Mr. Styron. Frankly, I hope that he did, because I hope that Mr. Styron realized how close he was to being shot given his actions. But what Mr. Styron was able to do was not freeze up in fear, not cry, not be so scared of the officer, but instead say, "I'm going to cook your ass, bro." Yell at the officer about how he is at his house. Yell at the officer about how he's not going to be put in cuffs. That's not somebody who's just frozen in fear. That's somebody that doesn't understand what the law is and doesn't understand that this sergeant is the person that was actually in control. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Judge Kelly, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. I would emphasize on the felonious assault, though, there was no weapon pointed at the officer at the
But
time.
to
The
have-
officer was in control of the situation, Your Honor.
But hold it, to have, your argument is that the weapon would have had to have been drawn or displayed to have the felonious assault?
Your Honor, the officer was in control of the situation. He had his weapon drawn, and Mr. Styron he's a CPL holder in this situation, Judge.
All right, that's
I
fine.
told him he had the gun on him.
Arguably, yes.
But it's, at the very least, Judge, the felonious assault, I would be pushing a little harder on that one, because the weapon was not drawn or pointed.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. You're indicating that the weapon would have to be drawn to have a felonious assault. When, if there were no weapon, but he threatened the officer and the officer had reason to believe that he could do that, then that would clearly, wouldn't you agree, be an assault?
I think there's an indication in this particular instance that he was in a position to do that, Your Honor. In this particular instance, the officer has control of everything that's going on. I think this is more of a situation of my client is in fear of what's happening and is rambling words and just spewing things.
Oh, no. He's not rambling. He is directing words at the sergeant in hopes of having a certain result. That's what he's doing. This isn't just some wild rambling. Go ahead with your argument. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
I know, I let it rest.
In this case, with regard to the fleeing and eluding third degree, defense's argument of the timeline, I think what one needs to really pay attention to in the body cam footage is to figure it out. Because if you just say 20 seconds or 50 seconds, maybe that doesn't seem like a long time, depending on the speed at which you're traveling. If you just watch the vehicles or the houses that go past in the back of the video, you can see that Mr. Styron traveled quite a ways, and certainly could have pulled over within that time frame. It isn't like he just went 2 houses down. He is behind him for a long time, and Mr. Styron doesn't pull over. I think certainly that gives the court basis to find over on count 1. With regard to the police officer resisting and obstructing, I think the body cam is probably the greatest indication that he resisted and obstructed the officer. The officer told him, he continued to verbally fight with the officer regarding that, and so the people have sustained their burden. Count 3, the driving while license suspended, follows along as misdemeanor. Regarding the felonious assault, court does believe that a felonious assault occurred, which quite frankly is, in my estimation, why the sergeant had his weapon drawn. That at the time that he is giving commands to Mr. Styron is refusing to obey those commands, then informs the officer, and I would say not in the way I don't think that's contemplated by our laws regarding having a concealed weapon or CPL, but informs the officer that he is armed, then makes statements that at some point may have been clarified, but about cooking him and other things. All of those taken into account, this court believes constitute an assault, because he is, in essence, reasonably making a threat. He has the ability to carry out that threat. The fact that that threat involves the use of a weapon, this court believes with that analysis, there are other facts and circumstances that play in when you look at the body cam footage. The court believes that in and of itself could constitute a felonious assault in this case, and will bind the defendant over on the requested added count 4. That then, as to count 4, the court having found that, as to count 5, the felony firearm, the people have sustained their burden of that, as there is the firearm present, and also have sustained their burden as to count 6, the felony firearm. So the court would bind the defendant over to stand trial on counts 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, with 3 following.
Your Honor, for the record, count 4 is felonious assault.
Correct.
At 0.81.
Give me that again, I'm sorry.
750.82.
Correct.
A 4-year felony and for $2,000.
Right.
Count 5 and 6 are 750.227B
7D.
B is in boy,
Okay.
mandatory 2 years in prison, consecutive and preceding any other sentences.
Right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Keller, do you waive presentation of the information?
Yes, Your Honor, we would.
We waive its reading. And
Yes, Your Honor, we would waive the reading. We would stand.
depending every way from a reading standing mute, the court will enter a not guilty plea as to all 6 charges. Pre-trial in this matter will be set for
November 18th at 1:30 before Judge Slay Monday.
November 18, 2024, 1:30, Slay Monday.